Hey everybody, welcome back to I Know a Guy. If you're new here, my name's Anthony. I'm a business profit advocate. On this show, we interview entrepreneurs, business owners, professionals, and just people doing cool things. For example, today we're meeting Enchantress Shane. She empowers sensitive, creative individuals to overcome fears and embrace their full potential through her signature programs and the 10 Commandments for Fearless Living. As co-creator of PARN, she blends curiosity, authenticity, and joy to help clients craft lives and truly love rooted in connections and fun. How are you doing today, Shane?
I'm doing good. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, I was reading a little bit about you. I'm excited to learn a little bit more. But to start off, where are you calling in from? Where are you located?
So I live in Rockaway Beach, Queens, in New York.
Okay. Yeah. Before we started, you said, "Yeah, I like to wear my hat in the winter." So I was like, "She's somewhere cold." So
Yeah.
yeah. Awesome. Awesome. Are you a lifer? You been there forever? Are you more recent to the area?
I'm a Brooklyn native and now I'm in Queens. So it's like a different borough, but I'm a New Yorker. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Well, I've never made it all the way to the New York area, so if somebody's visiting, where are you taking them? What are you doing?
Oh, well, Rockaway is amazing. I might take them for a winter ocean dip, which I like doing. And then my favorite restaurant right now is a barbecue place that just has amazing food.
Gotcha. What kind of barbecue? You've piqued my interest here.
Oh, so the chef is from New Orleans and the owners are from Rockaway, so I respect that they went where the people go, where the good food is. And my favorite is a sausage sandwich, and it's like this big. You make a mess on your face. There's a pickle in it. There's red onion and sauce and really good sausage. So
Yeah, no, I'm on my way. All right. So that sounds fantastic. Awesome. Great. Well, what can you tell us about what you're doing?
So my rule of thumb in life is if it ain't fun, I'm not doing it. And that includes business. So many entrepreneurs that are my clients come to me when their business feels like a job. And I don't mind working a lot of hours, but if you feel like you're always on call, but your money's not adding up, it's like, how can you make your business more fun and to source your energy from your business so that you're not wiped out and exhausted?
Yeah, no, that's true. Being an entrepreneur, you kind of make that realization pretty quick, and it's kind of a shock for some people. They get in entrepreneurship thinking they're going to work half days, and it's okay. Which 12 hours do you want? Right?
Yes, exactly.
So awesome. Well, how'd you get started? What kind of got you into this?
Well, I'm unemployable. I don't like to follow directions. I've always had a problem with authority. And also when I'm working with systems that don't work. My master's in special education. I'm a therapist. And I found that the system in the school system does not work to serve the children. It works for some other long ago system. And so one day I was working with a kid and I was like, you know what? This sucks. Like he's 3, he doesn't speak, he had autism. And I just did what I knew, which was do yoga. And one day he spoke to me by making the sound, psh, psh, and it was my lavender spray. So he doesn't speak, no words, but he communicated with me. And it was the validation I needed that, like, I'm right. I know what's of highest service to this kid. And at the same time, I was taking improvisational acting classes that was changing my life. So I started using a lot of the practices from that. And that's where my coaching and mentorship certification came from. And I started using those methods with parents. So I'm an unconventional gal, and the idea that I could make up my own rules was such a turn on that I just like made a business card and slapped an LLC on it and called it a day.
Yeah, that's awesome. I like that. Finding a niche that really speaks to you and then just being bold enough is the main thing to go do it. So that's awesome. That's great to see. How long have you been doing it?
Ooh, since 2011, and my clients base has changed. I don't work with parents anymore, but some people are parents. But yeah, 2011, I was like, I'm done working for anyone.
Okay. What can you tell us about PARN? So PARN. What is
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. So PARN is an intimacy and relationship method, and it stands for play. So being in the state of playfulness, putting the attention on the other. R is reveal, so revealing truth. And then N, noticing. And it can work with parenting, it can work with a lover, it can work with your friend, it can work in a podcast or a video interview, because it's really about giving and taking and then taking stock so that you can move forward in a more connected way.
Okay. So how does that kind of help you create a life rooted in fun if you're taking that principle?
Yeah, well, so many people, whether it's their relationship or their business, get really serious. And once you do that, our nervous system gets a little bit tightened up, and the creativity and imagination stop flowing. And as early as 1890, with Think and Grow Rich, there were these really powerful businessmen that spoke to how important our creativity is. And creativity is not logical. So when somebody thought like, I want to make a sewing machine or I want to create light, nobody was like, what a brilliant idea. They were like, this guy's an idiot. So you have to be able to trust your creativity and playfulness because that's where the genius emerges and that's where good ideas come from that actually light you up from the inside. You know, so many people are becoming doctors and lawyers, and nobody ever says, oh, we have too many of those. But so many entrepreneurial people are like, oh, so many people do that already. They second guess themselves. So, just as important as doctors and lawyers, we need inventors, we need creatives, we need entrepreneurs to do something in a very unique and special way that each of us hold the capacity to do.
Awesome. Yeah, I really like that. So I mentioned earlier when you said that you just kind of got started and you had the fearlessness. Can
Yeah.
you share how the 10 commandments of fearless living help individuals overcome those
Yes.
personal fears?
Yes, so it's part of a book, a coloring book that I created, and it's black on the back, so you could use markers. So my background is kids, so that playfulness in me is very innate. And the first one is show the F up, like I'm doing right here, right now. And like most people, that's like the place where it's like fear whiplash takes place. Oh, you want to go to open mic, you want to go to a networking event. It's so much more comfortable to stay home. And even the title of using it, having a curse word in here. Like I'm an educator. I had a full-on speaking gigs about education and I was very proper. But when I came up with this coloring book, I was like rebellious against it. So the second one is play. The third commandment is get curious, treat yourself, express yourself, take risks. Everything is energy, be authentic, ninja boundaries, and create joy. And it's right on the back and it's on sale right now at Amazon. And all of this is a system that you can use every day. And maybe you use one of them or maybe you use all of them. But the first one of showing up, get your butt in the chair. Just show up and be like, I don't even know what I'm doing here. Something interesting will happen that will move you to the next step. Even if it's to say, I don't like what I'm doing, let me change it. It's just if you're thinking or you're isolating, nothing is happening.
Yeah, that's fantastic advice because that's a good bit of it is just doing the thing. And I've lived we've all lived it. We've all been nervous or shy, and I've seen it. You mentioned networking events where there's a clique of people over there talking. You're like, I'm just standing here by myself. I should go talk to them, and then you got to convince yourself to go into it. And I've gotten better at that over the years, just going in and kind of introducing myself. Hey, I'm Anthony. Nice to meet you. But it kind of brings up a thought that I had a couple months ago. We were at a networking event. I was doing just that. I went to a group I had never met before. We were having a conversation. None of them bit or kicked me out or anything. It turns out people are genuinely
Yeah,
nice.
turns
Uh,
out.
but I seen one guy. He was clearly almost debilitatingly shy.
Mm,
And he came into the group and he stood there. He didn't say much, but he was in the group, and he had a friend in the group, and they introduced him. And I'm like that because you could tell he was nervous. And I was trying to help him because you see that in somebody and you go, "Hey, I've been exactly there before. You're
mhm.
doing it. This is awesome. You're
Yeah.
clearly having trouble with it, so let's try and make it easy." So that's kind of where most people come from. So getting over that and just doing it like he did is kind of inspiring.
Yes. Yes. I mean, that's the guy that I'm like, he's the best guy in the whole room. So I feel inspired by that story. And, as a special educator, it sounds like you have an intonation of like somebody who's suffering. It's like, I don't want to be part of the clique where the people are just talking their same stuff. I want to go to that guy and just, have compassion and make him feel welcome, even if it's my first time there.
Yeah, and people will surprise you. They'll say stuff where you everybody has their ego. You'll write something off, somebody gets started, you're like, I know where you're going with this, and then 2 minutes
Yeah.
later, you're floored. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, that was me. I'm sorry. Let me actually pay attention now.
Yeah.
So that's huge. I really like that. What's your favorite thing about what you're doing? Because you're doing a lot of good things, but like, what's your favorite?
I get to do whatever I want. Ta-da! and I get to stop doing whatever I want. It comes with practice, right? Like sitting behind my computer is not where my zone of genius is. Like I'm just working on a piece of art that someone commissioned me for, and now I'm here. So the idea that my inner teenager, which is something I talk about in this coloring book, she's a rebel. She wants to fight back with people. So like the fact that I'm home and it's rainy and cold doesn't mean that I have to be sitting and writing or reaching out to get clients. Everybody's hungry for clients. But if I'm having fun in my life, then I get to bring that joy into my computer with you. But if I'm sitting at my computer trying to find clients, just like doing all this stuff, guess what? My energy drops and now I want to go eat a whole pizza. So if you just like manage, and I did have pizza today, so I do have pleasure, but if you manage all the parts of yourself, I'll manage all the parts of myself that wants to play with glue and glitter and this art piece. Now I'm vivacious. But if I was sitting here before this talk with you and just like trying to get more clients before the holidays, those voices that are like, what are you doing? This is stupid. No, no, no. Like all those naysayer voices would take me down. And then I would have to climb right back up, which is exhausting for my physiological self, my emotional self, to try to be cool here. But instead, I'm coming from a good place. So having the freedom to be multi-passionate, having the freedom to pivot whenever something doesn't feel good and you've tried it or you've done it for long enough is so cool. And it's nerve-wracking, but it means you're alive. Like, guess what? You're not an entrepreneur because you're playing it safe. That's not a secret. So to really just like know that about yourself, that this is not a 9 to 5 job, you're not guaranteed a paycheck, create some kind of savings plan, make a plan for yourself is ultra important. So you're starting from the ground up to create that freedom. And it doesn't always feel free, but sometimes it does. And that's super important.
Awesome. So one question I always like to ask, and we've already probably touched on it at a high level 3 or 4 times already, because it's based into what you're doing, which is super interesting. If you could go back in time and talk to yourself starting off as an entrepreneur, or reach out to somebody that is starting their entrepreneurial journey, saying, "Here's a hard won lesson. Dodge this rock," right? And like I said, we've already talked about a few of them. That would be great advice for somebody starting. But outside of those, what would you tell yourself?
Yeah, it's okay if people don't like you. I would say, like, when you think people don't like you, it might not be true. You don't believe that's what it would be. I just whittled it down. Don't believe the stories in your head.
You're going to lie to yourself a lot, and you're going to be
Yes.
most folks, to be fair, they don't think about you very often. Yeah.
They're thinking
They're
about
all
their own stuff.
exactly. So no, that's fantastic advice, because we do get our own way, especially when it comes to, like we talked earlier, just going and talking to people. What are they going to think of me? Probably nothing. They're probably going to say, "Oh, here you are." What do you think when somebody walks up to you? You don't engage. "Oh, look at his shoes." That's not what you're thinking. It's not what they're thinking either. So I
Yeah.
like that. That's awesome. So what are some pain points that somebody might have that would kind of make them a key person to reach out and talk to you? What does like the avatar look like for you?
Great question. So somebody who's been in their business about 10, 15 years, they know their stuff, but they're not having any fun, they're bored. Maybe they're secretly looking forward to retiring, but secretly they always wanted to be a singer. They wanted to make a movie. They wanted to add, have some creativity, would be me. Like I help people. I have a wallpaper guy. He's been doing it 40 years. He made a documentary. I helped him navigate, and now we're doing the marketing to get his documentary out about wallpaper. I have another woman. She's been in her business. I mean, it's a ridiculous amount of time. She started out as a patient advocate, which sounds so medical. And now she works with aging icons. She has a jingle. She wrote a book. So I help a lot of people not only publish their books, but get the visibility for it. Listen, everybody has books. When you write a book, nobody cares about it unless you're doing something to bring it to life. So, someone who wants to invigorate their business with creativity, but also is very authentic. So, if you don't want to be face front, great. You write a book and you stay in the background. Maybe you want a cartoon that describes your business so that you could have publicity online, but it's not your face. Like, I'm really good at helping people figure out how to make their business feel good, make more money, and attract more people in current times. And it becomes like playground.
Okay, how about power partners? Who are other industries or other professionals out there that you synergize really well with?
Beautiful. So anyone who wants their team or their group or whoever's under them to feel excited and to get beyond hard problem solving where people start to not tell the truth to each other. So if you want your team to feel connected, excited, and ready to work, that's when you want to call me.
Okay, great. So what are the best strategies to overcome fear and embrace your full creative potential?
So get silly. Like stop taking yourself so seriously, which is a very logical thing to do. It's like when someone's stressed, you tell them to relax. But here's what you actually do. You sing about what's happening. So, of course, this craziest thing just came into my head, but I'll sing something else. So, let's say you're sitting in front of the computer, you're like, I have to write a blog. You wrote it with AI, but you feel bad. So now you're like, I don't know what to do today, do today, do today. I feel like an idiot all day long. And you can't help. You see, you're smiling. You can't help but smile and feel lifted. So even if you never sing that song out loud, but you whisper it to yourself, like, I'm a broke, whatever you sing, whatever your mishigas, whatever your crazy is, sing about it and then see what you feel like right then. And don't be afraid to close your computer and go move your body. It could be jumping jacks, it could be just shaking your body. When you're still, the brain and the mind take over, and nothing up here is going to help you in that predicament. So if you're feeling bad or you're feeling stuck or you want to get fearless, go do something that is so frivolous. I once had a client leave the house. He was a pretty athletic guy and skip. He's like, I don't want to do. Rah, rah, rah. He was whining more than any child I'd ever worked with, but he did it and he came back. He's like, all right, I got this idea. Like you have to get your heart rate moving. And I'm not a fitness expert, but I am an energy expert, and everything is energy. And if you're dormant, you're dead.
Yeah, no, that's true. And it's actually really funny. No more than 45 minutes ago, I was having a conversation with a lady. She goes, I'm sorry, I'm silly sometimes.
Ah,
Silly's authentic, right? Nobody's faked being, so there's something to that. I like that.
there's something, and it's really vulnerable. I have people talk gibberish, and that's another one, another fun tip. If you speak gibber, so many people cannot do it. They're like their mouth, their throat closes. And if you think about it, I'm an improv guru because it has taught me to be so present in the real moment. And let's say you were at a networking event and fear takes over. You might say to the person, I feel really afraid. I'm so excited that I got here, but now I feel frozen and I can't move. Ah. And the other person, without even batting an eye, will be like, it's okay, man. So speaking that kind of truth, getting in the mirror, doing gibberish, stop taking yourself so seriously will help in so many ways. You don't even know the ways that'll show up.
Awesome, awesome. So is there anything that I missed that maybe you wanted to add?
Ooh, you just got a lot of good things. If I told people to skip and speak gibberish, that's the best thing possible. Also, don't do it alone. You must invest in somebody to help you because if you don't, you're going to stay in your own little boxing ring with yourself, and nobody wants to attend a boxing ring with one person in it. You have to be with someone else who has already done it. Don't hire people that you don't like the way they're running their life. So don't get out of isolation and don't do it by yourself and don't think you can run your business by yourself. No one's going to be more proud of you if you do it alone.
Awesome. So for those of us that don't want to do it alone, what's the best way they can get a hold of you?
Yes, I'm on all social medias at enchantressshane.com. Or you can go to shanebcoleman.com and you can shoot me a message. There's a free training on there and it gives out my unconventional icon method. They're quick, short videos and you'll get a lot from it.
Perfect. If anybody'd like to get a hold of Shane, absolutely do it. You're going to walk away with more knowledge than what you started with. You're going to have a smile on your face for sure.
Yes. Yes.
So feel free, reach out. If you're a little bit more shy and you prefer the introduction, ask me. I'm more than happy to make a three-way introduction for you as well. But other than that, I'll have all of her links in the description so you don't have to hunt for them. If you'd like to get in touch with me to, be interviewed or just have a conversation, my links will be down there as well. So feel free to do that. But otherwise, Shane, I really appreciate you coming on, giving us all a smile. Let's all get out there, be a little bit more fearless and meet some more people. All right.
Yes, awesome, Anthony. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure.